We have 5 definite integrals using U-substitution. Let's get started. The first one is the integral from 0 to 1, the cube root of 1 plus 7x dx. So for your reference, so the 0 and 1, this is x equals to 1 and x equals to 0 because that is a dx to the 1 and 0. They are in terms of x, so we let u equals to 1 plus 7x because that is this linear function is inside a cube root function, and then take the derivative of that. We have 7 dx and then 1 over 7 du is equals to dx, and then you replace this dx in there, and then what do you have? And then you have oh, by the way, did I miss a step? Yep, I missed a step in here, so you have to do a u of 1, so that is 1 plus 7 times 1, this which is equals to 8. U of 0, that is 1 plus 7 times 0, that is equals to 1. So after you perform these steps, sometimes the upper limit is less than the lower limit. Don't worry about that, everything will be okay. And then you have u equals to 1, u equals to 8, and then you have u to the 1/3 power, and then the 1 over 7 du, and then we just work on the 1/3 power, right? So 1/3 plus 1 is equals to 1/3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. Reciprocal of that, 3 over 4. Put the 1 over 7 in front of it, and then such that u goes from 1 to 8, and then we have 3 over 28, and then we plug in the 8, so that will be 8 to the 4 over 3 power minus 3 over 28, 1 to the 4 over 3 power, and don't forget to put the 3 over 8 in front of both because this is like a distribution. All right, so after you clean up all the math, the answer is equals to 45 over 28. So that is the answer of the first integral. And then the next integral, we have a trig function. So let's do that. We have a trig function. Let's switch to that color. So we have the integral pi over 6. So for I would like to do it in this way. X equals to pi over 6. So x equals to pi over 6 and x equals to 0. And then sine of x. And then this one is cosine square x dx. So since cosine square x is equals to cosine x square, we have a trig function inside a square. So we let u equals to cosine, and then du is equals to negative sine. And then put the negative sign over to the other side. Du, that is equals to dx, and then we can replace this piece right over here. And then since this is in terms of u, we have to use u of pi over 6, which is cosine of pi over 6, and then u of 0, which is a cosine of 0. So pi over 6, that is root 3 over 2. Cosine of 0 is equals to 1. So we have integral u equals to root 3 over 2, u equals to 1, okay? And then we have a sine of x divided by u square times negative 1 divided by sine x, and then du. Of course, the sine of x got cancelled. That gives me the integral of negative 1 over u to the negative 2, right? So we have negative 1 integral 1 to root 3 over 2, and then u to the negative 2 du. So negative 2 plus 1, that is equals to negative 1, and then we have negative 1 divided by negative 1. This negative 1 goes to right there. We have to take the reciprocal of that, and then such that u goes from 1 to root 3 over 2. So this math is supposed to be simple. We have 1 divided by root 3 over 2 minus 1. So that is equals to 2 root 3 minus 1. So that is my answer. So if they want you to rationalize that, then you might need to get rid of the square root in the denominator. So this is 2. If you use a common denominator, so that will be minus root 3, right? So how do you rationalize? So rationalize. to rationalize, you have to get rid of the square root in the denominator. The only way to do this is you multiply top and bottom by root 3. So that is how you rationalize. So that is equals to 3, and then the top is 2 root 3 minus 3. That's how you rationalize. Rationalize means you cannot have square root in the denominator. All right, so that is the second one. And then let's move on to the third one. So the third one, we have the integral. Integral x goes from 1 to 2. And then you have e to the 1 over x divided by x squared dx. So since we have a reciprocal function inside an exponential function, we just let u equals to the exponential function. So du is equals to, so x raised to the -1 power, you bring the -1 down, -1 minus 1 is -2, and then you put that to the other side. So 1 divided by -x to the -2 power du equals to dx, and then you handle the reciprocal, that is -x squared du equals to dx. And then on the other hand, u of 2, so that is 1 divided by 2, u of 1, that is 1 divided by 1. So overall, you have u equals to 1/2, u equals to 1. Take a look. The lower limit is greater than the upper limit. This is completely fine. You don't need to worry about it. And then the top, we have e to the u. The bottom, we have x squared. X squared is x squared. And then you put this piece to here. So which is minus negative x squared. So you have multiply negative x squared, right? So negative x squared dx. So clearly that x squared can be cancelled, and then the integral of e to the u is still e to the u, so you still have the negative in there. So the integral of e to the u is always e to the u, no change, and then such that u goes from 1/2 to 1. So you have negative e to the 1/2 minus minus, then that minus e to the 1, so that will be minus e to the 1/2 plus e. I will just keep this as my final answer. You do not need to approximate this. If, like when you do this on a written exam, your instructor would like you to put the answer in this form. So that is number 4. Moving on to number 5. So number 5, we have a trig function again. So number 5, let's switch color. Number 5, we have the integral x goes from 0 to pi over 2. We have a cosine x times sine of sine x. So we have a composition function. A sine is inside itself, dx. So we definitely let u be the sine x in the parenthesis. So u is equals to sine x, du is equals to cosine, and then 1 over cosine, that is going to get rid of the cosine in front, du is equals to dx. And then we change the upper and lower limit in terms of u. U of pi over 2, that is equals to sine of pi over 2. Sine of pi over 2 is 1. U of 0, that is sine of 0. That should be, yeah, that is equals to 0. So we got nice numbers right here. So now we have integral. U goes from 0 to 1. And then we have cosine x times sine of u. And then put this piece to there. That is called change of variable. And then we have 1 divided by cosine x du. And then the cosine x can be cancelled. And then you check, make sure there is no more x. So the integral of sine is equals to negative cosine. So we have negative cosine of u. U goes from 0 to 1. And then simple plug in negative cosine 1 minus minus cosine of 0. So cosine of 1, we don't have that in the unit circle. I will just leave that as cosine of 1. And then cosine of 0 is equals to 1. So minus minus, that gives me a plus 1. I will leave my final answer like this. Alright, so that is the 5th one. And then the last one, so let's do the last one right here. we have 0 to 13, and then 1 divided by the cube root of 1 plus 2x, the quantity square, dx. So since we have 1 plus 2x inside x square, then we inside square, then we let u equals to 1 plus 2x. The reason we don't do the square is because when you take the derivative of that, you get a 2, right? So the 1 plus 2x becomes a u, then there is no more x in the integrand. If you let u equals to 1 plus 2x and then you square the whole thing after the chain rule, then there is an x in there. If you do it like this, that is not going to work. That is not going to work. Then you have to step back to try another one. So du, that is equals to 2 dx, and then we have 1 over 2 du equals to dx. So there is no more x in the integrand. And then u of 13, that is 1 plus 2 times 13, that is 26 plus 1. And then u of 0, that is 1 plus 2 times 0, that is equals to 1. So overall, we have an integral. U goes from 1 to 27, and then we have 1 divided by the cube root of u squared du. Oh, definitely forgot the 1/2. Oh, by the way, this is so easy to miss. If you have a highlighter, highlight this for yourself because that is very easy to miss. So you have multiply 1/2 du, right? So we have no more x, we are ready to go. And then that is equals to 1/2 the integral from 1 to 27, u of what? U of negative 2/3, right? And then du. So this is a simple power rule. You still have a 1/2, and negative 2/3 plus 1 is u to the 1/3, and then the reciprocal of that is a 3. And then from 1 to 27, and then you have a 3 over 2, and then 3 over 2, and then you plug in the 27, so that will be the cube root, right? So the cube root of 27, you can do it like this, and then minus 1 to the 1/3. So this part is the fundamental theorem of calculus. And then of course, if you don't want to put it in this form, you can distribute the 3 over 2, but please don't if you forgot the parenthesis, the whole thing is wrong, right? So please, if you decide to do it like that in a more compact form, so you don't have to write 3 over 2 twice, then you have to use a parenthesis. So that will be a 9. So this will be a 9, right? So 3 over 2, so this will be a 9. And then this is 1. So 9 minus 1 is 8. Right? So 9 minus 1 is 8. So we have this 8. So that will be 3 times 4 equals to 12. So let me make sure this is right, because I wrote something else on my notes. What if I used the other method? I will just check myself using another method. So that will be a 3 over 2, and then 27 to the 1/3. The cube root of 27, and then minus 3 over 2, and then 1 to the 1/3, right? And then that is equals to 3 over 2 times 27 times 9, and then minus 3 over 2. So that is no, not 9, 3. So that would be a 9 minus 3. 9 minus 3 is equals to 6, but this one we have a 6 over 2 that is equals to 3. I must have done something wrong right here. Okay, where is my mistake? So this is a 9. Oh, come on. I just said this is a 3, but I wrote a 9 in here, so that is so wrong. So this is equals to 3. 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. And then 2 get rid of these 2. Then the answer is equals to 3. I just found this error. Alright, so that is the end of this video. If you think my instruction is helpful, let me know in the comment below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, share the video for me. Appreciate your help as always. See you in the next lesson. Signing out for now.